Hello. Yeah, all right. I've had a few requests to do this one, and this is especially for Helen and Sally. After Albert and Lion, the other monologue by Stanley Holloway from Birch Crescent, Tividale, I've been asked to do the Battle of Hastings, also recited by Stanley Holloway, all about King Harold, who, as you know, was from Regent Road, Tividale, so there is a connection. So here we go, a monologue entitled The Battle of Hastings. I'll tell of the Battle of Hastings as happened in days long gone by, when Duke William became King of England and Harold got shot in the eye. It were this way: one day in October, the Duke, who were always a toff, having no battles on at the moment, had given his lads the day off. They'd all taken boats and gone fishing, when some chap in Conqueror's ear said, "Let's go and put breeze up Saxons," said Bill. "By gum, that's an idea." Then turning around to his soldiers, he lifted his big Norman voice, shouting, "Hands up! Who's coming to England?" That was a laugh, because they had no choice. They started away about tea time. The sea was so calm and so still, and at 10:15 the next morning they arrived at a place called Bexhill. King Harold came up as they landed, his face full of venom and hate. He said, "If you've come for regatta, you've got here just 6 weeks too late." At this William rose, cool but haughty, and said, "Give us none of your cheek. You best have your throne reupholstered. I'll be wanting to use it next week." When Harold heard this here defiance, with rage he turned purple and blue, and he shouted some rude words in Saxon, to which William answered, "And you!" 'Twere a beautiful day for a battle. The Normans set off with a will, and when both sides were duly assembled, they tossed up for the top of the hill. Now King Harold he won the advantage. On the hilltop he took up his stand, with his knaves and his cohorts around him, on his horse, with his oak in his hand. The Normans had nought in their favour. Their chances of victory were small. The slope of the field were against them, and the wind in their faces and all. The kick-off was sharp at 2:30, and soon as whistle had went, both sides started banging each other, till the swineherds could hear 'em in Kent. The Saxons had best line of forwards, well armed with both buckler and sword, but the Normans had best combination, and when half-time came, no one had scored. So the Duke called his cohorts together, and he said, "Let's pretend as we're beat. Once we get Saxons down on the level, we'll cut off their means of retreat." So they ran, and the Saxons ran after, just exactly as William had planned, leaving Harold alone on the hilltop, on his horse, with his oak in his hand. When the Conqueror saw what had happened, a bow and an arrow he drew. He went right up to Harold and shot him. He were offside, but what could they do? The Normans turned round in a fury, and gave back both parry and thrust, till the fight were all over bar shouting, and you couldn't see Saxons for dust. And after the battle were over, they found Harold, so stately and grand, sitting there with an eye full of arrow, on his horse, with his oak in his hand. Ta-ra a bit. See you soon. Keep out the Oss Road. Thank you, Mother, for the pilings, and I'll see you again shortly. Ta-ra!